The pedals finally came in, so here they are. This is just a factory set of pedals. We're going to have to replace the clutch pedal with this one. This one's really expensive. It converts factory pedals to hydraulic, so I don't have to worry about linkages. I just prefer hydraulic clutches. I probably could figure out a linkage, but this car has a Chevy 350. It's a Buick, so they don't exactly make linkages for that. So just be easier to do the hydraulic. So, and be a lot easier when I swap to the TKX. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, step one, be a contortionist. Step two, hope you got the right size socket. It'll go up in there. Come on. Where's the... Oh, yeah. An electric ratchet would be really nice right about now. Is it just spinning? Doesn't feel like it's getting any easier. There's got to be another bolt up there somewhere. Yep, there's another one. So, we'll find another 5/8 socket. Alright, I did some rolling around under here off camera. And again, I'm an idiot. The bolt was bigger, not smaller. It's an 11/16. So that makes sense on why none of the sockets would work, because they were all too small. I love Harbor Freight's lights like that, but man, a better magnet sure would be nice. Oh, slipped off. One of those battery-powered ratchets sure would be nice right about now, too. Is it fine thread? Come on, man. Might be getting a little looser. Yeah, there we go. I took it off too early. No! There we go. We're getting it now. Victory! Now, let's just pull the rod off the brake. Pull this. Alright. I've cut this previously because I was going to try to use a different pedal setup so I didn't have to spend $700. That didn't work, so I just ruined a good automatic brake pedal. But, automatics are overrated. Alright, now we're going to take this pedal assembly, you take it apart and put the hydraulic pedals on. take these bushings out because I don't see those in the new pedal. Oh, it doesn't require them. Okay. Will this bushing fit? Nope. I guess this goes with no bushing. Works for me. That's my pedal assembly. So, I guess let's get it in the car. This should be fun, considering I have to get this back where the other one was, except I have to line everything up this time instead of pull it down. There we go. Almost there. There it is. Beautiful. That was easy. Now let's see if we can get the clutch pedal hung. A lot of wires just in the way. So in the way. Tied up with a shoestring though, so that's good. Every good electrician uses shoestrings. I think I'm gonna have to figure out a way to relocate some of these wires. So I'm not gonna film that because wiring is boring. But I'll be back when I'm able to get the manual pedal in. Alright, off camera, I moved all the wires, and while I was under there, I went ahead and got the bolt pushed through pedal assembly. Now, I got to try to get the nut on the bolt, and it's very hard to reach, so I've electrical taped this nut in there. Hopefully I can snake it up in there. We'll see. I have to figure out something else. Once I get this nut started, I'll come back. Alright, I got that bolt in. There's one more bolt right up here, and it holds the clutch pedal from twisting like that. So we're gonna get that bolt in, and this car will officially be a manual. Never gonna find that again. Right there. You know what? I don't want to twist on a ratchet the whole time. I could use 3 hands right about now, too. Alright, wrench, get off. There we go. Alright, pedal assembly is in. Oh, waited a long time to have this pedal assembly in. Pretty excited about that. I am going to sit here and admire this pedal assembly for the next 30 minutes, and I will be back after I'm done doing that. Alright, I spent the last couple hours figuring out hydraulics. I had to take the clutch pedal out again, which you can see up there. That's the hydraulic line. Goes out over there. There was already a hole there, so I decided to go ahead and use that. The other hose was not long enough, so I had to replace it. But I'll pull that up tighter whenever I get done. And coming out here, that hose just comes out right there. I mounted the reservoir right there, and then I'm going to cut this to length to go right up in there. Should work. And I do still have enough room there to get the cap off, so should be good. Professionally mounted with self-tappers, but they're shiny just like the reservoir, so they match. It's all good. But I'm going to get that all hooked up, and I'll be back when it's done. All right, so that line just comes right out there, sweeps right back up to the reservoir. Now it'll work just fine. Now, next part, I'll show you from up top because it's easier. But I've got to get hydraulic lines in to the hydraulic throwout bearing. That'll be what I'm doing next. The throwout bearing kit came with this for an oil or for a bleeder line, so I'm just gonna stick this up through where the linkage would go in if you were running a linkage clutch, and that'll just come out right at the bottom. You'll have to have 2 wrenches to bleed it, but that's fine. And then for the hydraulic line from the pedal down to the transmission, I'm going to put this into the throwout bearing. I'm going to bend it to where it comes out the correct place. Then I can just hook up the line similar to this onto this instead of having to run it all the way in to the throwout bearing. Should be easier if something goes wrong. All right, I'll get you all up under here. There's my brake line in there, and the braided hose comes out, turns down, and kind of goes back just a little bit. That way it'll hook up, and that just hangs off. I don't see any problem with that. I guess now I'm going to stab the transmission back in. Wish me luck on that one. All right, since the last time you've seen me, I have changed shirts because it's a new day. Yesterday, I gave up on that transmission. I could not for the life of me figure out why it would not go in. But this morning, I had a buddy come over, and the pilot bearing was just so tight going in that just needed some extra force. So we pulled it out. Actually, there was a burr on it too. We pulled the transmission out and sanded the inside of that pilot bearing just a little bit. got to where the alignment tool would go in and out pretty easily. Then we had to get the transmission up, got it in, and had to use a couple bolts to pull it in. So we got that in. I just got all the bolts tightened up, so we're going to put the starter back on. And see, starter. Hope the drive shaft works. It came out of this car, but it was a 700 R4 in it, which is an inch longer than the transmission that's in it now. Should work, but we'll have to double check. Put the exhaust back on, got to bleed the clutch, put the seat back in, and we can drive it. So we're getting pretty close. Maybe today, we'll see. But right now, we're going to get the starter put back on, and here's the starter bolts. They've been rolling around in the floor for the last few days, so I'm going to have to put these in the parts cleaner. Clean. Let's get the starter put back on. All right, next up is the transmission cross member. Let's see if I can remember how this came out. My mic died in the last clip and I did not realize it. So in this clip I'm trying to put the drive shaft in, and I am learning that this drive shaft is about 3 inches too short. So whoever told me that an NP440 is only an inch shorter than a 700 R4 probably didn't know what they were talking about, because my drive shaft was good. Take an inch off the transmission, you shouldn't have a drive shaft that's 3 inches too short. So I'm on the hunt for a drive shaft now. All right, well, I guess the next thing we're going to do, since the drive shaft is too short, is I want to see the interior at least somewhat put back together. So step one is I'm going to put the shifter back in. I want to see what it looks like with pedals and a shifter, how it's going to be. Let's see, this goes like that. Good part about having such a big hole in this transmission tunnel, it's really easy to get these shifter bolts in. Alright, there's one. I remember I had to stack washers on these. I think 2 was it, but I don't know. I don't remember how many. Ooh. But these are the shortest bolts I've got, so they're going to have to work. I wish I would have grabbed my a little electric impact. But I don't want to get out since I'm already in. All right. There's 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, I guess 2 washers was enough. All right, shifter's in. I'm going to get the shift rods because those are a little finicky, and I'm going to have to go find cotter pins for them. But I'll come back once those are on. All right, shift rods are all hooked up. See if it goes into gear. There's 1. That's kind of close to the dash. I might have to get a different shifter, but that's okay. 2, 3, and that radio will be moved. It's just kind of hanging out. 4, and reverse. That is a manual transmission in there. Now, I'm going to have somebody come outside and help me put the seat back in and bleed the clutch. I'll come back whenever that's done. I got the seat back in, transmission's all hooked up, pedals are in. I'm going to clean up the wiring a little bit before I'm done. And I don't even know what that goes to. Clean up the wiring a little bit, clean up the floor pan before I'm actually done. I will build a transmission tunnel eventually, but I want to drive it before then. And seats in. It's looking like a car again in here. But see, everything under the car is buttoned up, except the drive shaft, obviously. A couple of wires hanging there. Speedo cable. Little odds and ends. But it's all in. I think that's going to do it for the work today. I'm a little bummed we didn't get to get it done, but there's nothing you can do about a drive shaft being too short. I'm going to call around this week and see if I can get one coming. And then hopefully next episode I'll have one and we'll get this thing running and driving, taking it for its first spin in 2.5 years or so. At least 2, less than 2.5, something like that. But I'm pretty excited to be this close on this car. So see you next time.